Something breaks inside you when you kill your first man. The break gets bigger when you kill your second. But when you kill your third, you don't feel anything anymore. How many men have I killed so far? I stopped keeping track, because numbers make you think about your conscience. And you can't do this job with a clear mind. I'm by the fire. But this time it's not the same. This time I'm sitting with blood on my hands. And deep down inside me, there's a strange emptiness. No shame, no regret. Nothing but emptiness. Because I found the man who killed my dad today. And I killed him. But something strange happened. I didn't feel anything. Now that it was over, I was free. I accepted what had happened and looked forward. That first night was 6 months ago. I've lived with this gang for 6 months, worked and killed. And now I'm not just a member anymore. I'm William's right-hand man. We are in the dry parts of New Mexico. The sun is beating down on us. The wind is blowing sand. And I, a 21-year-old man, move like a man who was 50 years old. William had said 3 days ago, "You're ready now. You'll be in charge of the next job, being a leader." The word tasted weird on my tongue. I was a man with nothing 6 months ago. Now I was moving up in a gang, but this rise came at a cost. A man's blood paid for every wrong. Right hand is an American idiom that means someone's most trusted assistant or deputy. It is especially common in Western and criminal contexts. You know that power doesn't come free if you've had to pay for it. Every step up takes something from your soul. Our goal was the little bank in Santa Fe, but this time was different. I was in charge of making the plan this time. I was in charge of the men. I was in charge. I had sat in camp the night before and made the plan. William was next to me, quietly watching. I said, 3 men go inside. Me, Jose, and Frank. Jim is outside with the horses. Samuel is on guard at the other end of town. He'll let us know if the sheriff comes. William nodded. Timing? 10 minutes. Get in, grab the cash, and leave. Go longer. The sheriff will catch up. Use of weapons? I stopped. This question was important, because using weapons meant killing people and dead bodies. They meant being watched, hunted, and finally caught. I said only if needed. But if we have to, we won't think twice. William smiled. That smile that was cold and planned. Good. In this line of work, those who wait die. I didn't sleep that night. I was in bed, looking up at the ceiling. I waited at the door for my first job 6 months ago. Now I would be in charge. What would Daddy say? My dad is kind and only has one arm. What would he think if he saw his son become a criminal? Sadness. Surely disappointment. But Dad was dead, and I was still alive. And sometimes you have to be the devil to stay alive. What would Mom say? My mom, who has red hair and green eyes and is kind. You will be strong, she said with her last breath. Was this being tough? Stealing from people, killing them, and becoming an outlaw? Perhaps. Or maybe being strong meant staying alive, and I was still alive. I wasn't the only one who was in this situation. Every criminal has done something bad in the past. There is a reason for every outlaw. You may have had times when life made you make hard choices. We woke up early. Martha had made bread and coffee. Be careful, son, she told me, the same words every time. And every time those words made me feel better. I told them, I'll be back. I promise. Tommy and Sarah waved their hands. Big brother, bring us something. Tommy yelled, I smiled. The 8-year-old didn't know that his older brother was a criminal who robbed banks. He might have known, but not cared. That's how kids are. Clean. Not guilty. We got to town at noon. A small, quiet town. People who live slowly on dusty streets and in wooden buildings. There is no danger waiting for us. At the north end of town, Samuel waited. Jim got the horses ready. We walked to the bank with Jose, Frank, and me. I put a bandana over my face. My hands were shaking because of excitement. That weird, dark, and exciting rush of adrenaline. We went into the bank. Anyone who was there would have been shocked. That moment when you walk through the door and know you're either going to be rich or dead. There were 4 people inside. The manager of the bank was an old man. There were 2 customers, a young woman and a middle-aged farmer, and a young man behind the counter who was thin and wore glasses. "Put your hands up," yelled I. My voice came out rough. It sounded like a voice I didn't know. Everyone stopped. The woman yelled. The farmer put his hands up. I told the teller, "Open the safe." "And take it easy." The young man tripped and almost fell. His eyes were wide open with fear. "But please," he said. I just work here. I have a family." Jose put his gun to the man's head. "Don't talk. Unlock the safe." The bank manager, on the other hand, stepped up. The man was probably 65 years old. He didn't look scared, just tiredness. "Son," he said to me, "I have a grandson your age. Don't do this." I stopped. That word "son" sounds just like Martha's voice. "Step back," I said, but my voice wasn't as hard anymore. The old man said, "You're a good person. I can see it in your eyes. Don't go down this road." You know that moment when you've been torn between what you know is right and what you have to do? That time when you start to doubt who you are. But Frank was getting impatient. "Stop this nonsense." He yelled and pushed the old man. The man tripped and fell to the ground. He hit the counter with his head. Blood flowed. The girl screamed, the teller shook, and me, I froze. "Frank, what did you do?" I said angrily. He said coldly, "Doing our job." "Do yours." The old man was lying on the ground. He was still alive and breathing, but he was hurt. Always blood. I told the teller, "Open the safe." Now. The young man quickly opened the safe. It was full of cash. Jose put things in the bag. I said, "That's enough. We're going." We walked outside, mounted our horses. Jim was already set. "Ride," I yelled. I turned around and looked back as we left town. The bank manager stood at the door with blood on his head and watched us. I could see the disappointment in his eyes, and at that moment something inside me broke. Something little and weak, but it broke. We rode for a long time. No one came after. We got to camp in the dark of night. We met William. "How did it go?" I said, successful. But my voice sounded empty. I gave them the bag of money. William opened it and counted. He said, "Good work. Great job." Was it good work to hurt an old man? People who have been through these kinds of things know that success can hurt, because what you win is less valuable than what you lose. I sat by the fire that night. Martha brought some food. She said, "You didn't eat," with worry in her voice. I said, "I'm not hungry," but I was lying. Did something happen? No. Everything is fine. Martha was aware. The old lady always knew, but she didn't push. Just touched my shoulder and went away. I was by myself. I stared at the fire, dancing flames, and I was thinking about that old man. He had said, "You're a good person." He was not telling the truth. I wasn't a good person. For 6 months, I had been stealing from people. I had killed 3 men. People who are good don't do things like that. But I had to do it to stay alive. Is that right? Or was there another reason? Maybe I wanted to be in charge. I might have wanted respect. Maybe I wanted more than just revenge. You may have had times when you felt like you weren't yourself. When you look in the mirror and wonder, is this me? That night, I was that man. We got 4 more jobs the next month. All of them worked. We didn't lose anyone. It just took the money and ran. And me? I became William's most trusted man. One day he said, "You're good at what you do, smart and brave." A combination that doesn't happen very often. Bravery, smartness, but how much does it cost? Now everyone in the gang respected me. Jose spoke to me like we were both the same. Jim wanted to know what I thought. Frank even listened to me. But Samuel ... Samuel gave me a weird look. With those wise old eyes. He came to me one day and said, "You're losing yourself." "What do you mean?" "The light that is inside you. It's going out." "I light?" "Light, Samuel, I'm an outlaw." "I don't have any light," he said. "Everyone has light, but some people lose it. You're going down that road." I didn't say anything, because he might have been right. It was 3 more months. I had been with this group for 9 months. I had gone beyond being William's right-hand man. I was in charge of making the plans. I was mapping out the paths. I was in charge of the men. A leader who is 21 years old. But leadership is a weird thing. People are following you, but they're not next to you. They hear what you say, but don't talk to you. They care about you, but they don't love you. And I was all by myself again. Of course, it's a different kind of loneliness. I had a family and a gang now, but I still felt empty when I lay in bed at night. Deep, dark, and never-ending emptiness. Martha still called me son, but her voice was different this time, like she was scared of me, or worried about me. Things were getting better. No, that's not true. Things weren't getting better. They were only getting more difficult. The end of October had come. Wyoming's northern part had camp. It was getting cold, wind blowing hard. It was almost winter. William also had a big plan. He said at the meeting, the bank in Cheyenne. "There's $15,000 in it," Frank whistled. "15,000? Are you sure?" "I'm sure, but it won't be easy. The security is strong. The sheriff has been around for a while." And ... He stopped. "And if they catch us, they'll hang us." There was silence. Everyone stared at each other. "I'll go," I said. I was sure of my voice. William looked at me and said, "Are you sure? This risk is very high." "Yes, I am sure, but I picked my team." "Of course. Who do you want?" "Jose, Jim, and ... I stopped, stared at Frank. The man was looking at me with a challenge in his eyes. "And Frank smiled. At last, someone believes in me. But I didn't believe him. I just wanted to keep him close, because Frank was a threat, not predictable. And guys like that are either on your side or against you. You know that feeling if you've had to work with someone you don't trust. It's tiring to always be on guard and look behind you. We worked on the plan for 2 weeks, looked over every detail. The bank's layout, the sheriff's patrol times, and the town's escape routes. Samuel showed me the maps. He said, "Be careful, son. This job is terrible." "What do you mean?" $15,000 is a lot of money. What made William want to take such a chance? I stopped, thought, really, why? I said, "Maybe the amount of money makes the risk worth it?" Samuel shook his head. "Maybe. Or maybe there's something else. But what could it be?" William had always told us the truth. He had kept us safe. He had faith in us. That's how it looked. I couldn't sleep the night before the job. I was cleaning my gun while sitting in my tent. My hands were working, but my mind was somewhere else. $15,000. What would I do with that cash? I might quit this job. I might go to California in the West. I might buy a ranch, have a normal life. But what did a normal life look like? I had never lived one. I had been fighting since I was 5. To stay alive, to get back at someone, to leave. I thought that living a normal life was just a dream. Martha went into the tent. She was holding a cup of hot soup. "You didn't eat. Not hungry." The same lie again. "You have a very dangerous job tomorrow." "I know. You have to come back. Because ... She stopped. She cried. "Because if I lose you, I'll have lost another son, a second son." Those words hurt me. "I swear," I said. "Come back." I wasn't the only one who felt this way. Every soldier, every police officer, and every person who takes risks makes this promise to someone. "I'll be back." But can everyone come back? We left in the early hours of the morning. 4 people on horseback, 4 men with guns, and a big goal. There were a lot of people in Cheyenne. There were a lot of people on the streets. People were shopping, kids were playing, and life went on as usual. They had no idea. They had no idea that 4 criminals would change their lives that day. At noon, we went into the bank. Guns ready, faces covered. "Put your hands up," I yelled. There were 8 people inside, customers, tellers, and a boss. Everyone stopped. "Unlock the safe," I told the manager. The man had a strong body. Looked like they weren't scared. He said calmly, "I won't open it." Frank put his gun to the man's head. "You will." "No." "Because the sheriff is already on his way." I stopped. "What?" The boss smiled. "We were waiting for you." I added the American idiom, cut and dried. "I'll work this in naturally. If you're wondering if this was real, trust me, I asked myself the same thing at that moment. It seemed too clear-cut to be a coincidence. How could it be? No one knew what we were going to do. No one ... Then I got it. Someone had betrayed us. There were gunshots outside. The sheriff and his men were all around the bank. "Give up," the sheriff yelled from outside. "You can't get away." Jim looked out the window. "At least 10 of them. We're surrounded." Frank glared at the manager. "Did you do this?" The manager said, "No, this is one of yours. One of us. Someone in the gang is a traitor." "But who?" "Jose, Jim, Frank ... One of these guys or ... No. Could it be William?" I said quickly, "We're going out the back. Jim, you take the lead. Jose, you take care of the back. Frank, come with me." We ran to the back door. But the sheriff also had men there. Bullets whistled through the air. First, Jim got hit. Shot in the shoulder. He was staggering. "Go away," he yelled. "Run." "No," I said. I put my arm around his shoulder. "We're going together." Jose was making space. being very good with his gun, hitting what he was aiming at. 2 of the sheriff's men fell, but Frank ... Frank pushed me aside and left me behind. Every man for himself, he yelled and ran. At that moment, I got it. Frank could be the one who is betraying us. Or maybe he was just a coward. People who have been through times like this know that betrayal hurts more than bullets. Bullets only kill the body. Betrayal kills the spirit. We got to our horses. I put Jim on his horse. Jose was already set. Frank had already left. Ride, I yelled. The sheriff and his men stayed behind when we left town, but they were still following, quick and determined. We rode for a long time. Jim was groaning in pain. Blood was running out of his shoulder. Jose rode without saying a word, and I was trying to figure everything out. Who betrayed us? William? Frank? Someone else? And most importantly, why? We got to camp in the dark of night. Everyone was awake. Everyone is waiting for us. William, Martha, and Samuel. Frank was already there and told them what had happened, or told his side of the story. William walked up to me. He was angry. What happened? It's a trap, I said. They were waiting for us. How could that be? Someone told them. Someone sold us out. I looked at William, looked into his eyes, and I saw something very small and hard to see. But it was there. Guilt. You know that pain if you found out that someone you trusted lied to you. The world slips out from under your feet, and you ... you fall. Me, I said slowly. You told them. William's face stayed the same. What are you saying? You let us down. You told the police. There was silence. Everyone stopped. Martha covered her mouth with her hand. Samuel shook his head as if he had known this would happen. Why? I asked. My voice shook. Why did you do that? For a long time, William didn't answer. Then he let out a sigh. He said, because you became too powerful. You got up too quickly, and I was losing my grip. Control? I was doing work for you. I was faithful to you. You were true to your word today. But what about tomorrow? I don't know. You were beginning to take charge. There can't be 2 leaders in the same gang. I put my fingers on my gun. Did you try to kill me? No. I just wanted to make you weaker. But the sheriff went too far. You might have found out that someone you cared about used you. That moment when heartbreak turns to anger. And rage ... rage destroys everything. I pulled out my gun, pointed it at William. Everyone held their breath. Martha yelled. Samuel moved forward. Samuel told his son, don't do it. This isn't right. Wrong? I yelled. He tried to kill me. Jim was shot. We could all have died. I know. But if you kill him, you will be just like him. I came to a stop. I could feel the gun shaking in my hands. I already like him, I said. I'm a killer too. I'm a criminal too, Martha said. No. She came to see me, held my hand. You're not the same. You are a nice person. Those words, those damn words. You're a nice person. People kept saying it, but no one knew the truth. I wasn't a good person. I had killed 18 men. I had robbed a lot of banks. People who are good don't do things like that. But I looked into Martha's eyes, those old, tired, kind eyes, and something inside me got softer. I put the gun down. I am going, I said. Tonight, and I'm not coming back. I put my things in a bag, not much anyway. A bag, some clothes, and my guns. Martha showed up. She was holding food. "Take this," she said. "You'll get hungry on the way." "Thanks, Martha, for all of it." She said, "You were our family." She was crying. "You still are." We gave each other a hug, a long, warm hug. Since my mom died, no one had hugged me like that. Samuel arrived. "Son, may your road be clear," he said. "And don't forget, don't let the light go out." Jose showed up. We shook hands. He said, "Good luck. Perhaps our paths will cross again." I said, "Maybe," but I did know I would never see them again. Jim came hurt. He said, "I'll miss you, brother." "Me too," I said, "and I would really miss him." Tommy and Sarah came. They were sobbing. "Please don't go, big brother," Sarah said. "I have to," I said. I ran my fingers through their hair. "But I'll always remember you." I got on my horse. Looked back one last time. Everyone was standing there. My family, my second family that I lost. William was there as well. In the distance, in the dark, not looking at me. And I pushed my horse, and they didn't look back. I would have gone back if I had looked back. And if I went back, I wouldn't know where I was. And at that moment, fate put something else in my way, or someone else. I rode alone for 3 days. I was all alone in Arizona, in dry deserts, and on empty roads. Again, but this time was different. This time I was alone in both body and spirit, because this time I had left a family behind. I left on my own. I would build a campfire at night, but there was no food from Martha, no stories from Samuel, no Sarah and Tommy's laughter, only me and silence. That silence was driving me crazy. On the third night, I drank by the fire. Whiskey, a cheap, burning, bitter whiskey. But pain was good, because physical pain made you forget about your emotional pain. But the real shock was who showed up across the fire that night. I saw her shadow first, then her shadow. A lady, by herself, in the desert. My hand went right to my gun. "Who's there?" I yelled. The woman said, "A lonely traveler." She sounded tired. "Can I spend the night by your fire?" I said no in a harsh tone. "Get out of here." But the woman came closer. I could see her face in the moonlight. Young, probably 23, dark eyes and black hair. There is a scar on her cheek that goes all the way to her ear. "Please," she said. "I haven't eaten in 3 days. My horse is dead." And ... double quotes. She stopped. "And I'm being followed." I stopped. "Who's following you?" "My husband." "My ex-husband." You know that feeling of not wanting to help someone who asks for it. Do you want to help? But what if it's a trick? I stared at the woman for a long time. There was fear in her eyes. Fear that is real. Not a fake fear. I told them to sit, but slowly take out your weapon and put it on the ground. The woman took a small gun out of her belt, put it on the floor, then they sat across from the fire. "Clara is my name?" I said. "You don't need to know mine." "Okay." She stared at the fire. Her hands were shaking. I didn't know if it was because I was hungry or scared. I took some dried meat out of my bag, gave it to me. "Here, eat." Clara took the meat. She ate like she was starving, did everything in 3 minutes. "Thanks," she said. "You saved my life." "Did I?" I said. "Morning hasn't come yet." "Oh, might not be alive by morning." "Maybe," she said in a calm voice, "but at least I won't die of hunger." Weird lady. She made jokes even when people were threatening her life. "Why are you running?" I asked. Clara didn't say anything for a long time. She was staring at the fire. Then she said something. "My husband, my ex-husband was in a gang, a cruel man. He hit me. They raped me." She touched a scar on her cheek and said, "They tortured me. He made this with his knife." My insides turned. "Why didn't you run?" "I did run 3 months ago, but he is looking for me because ... She stopped. Her eyes filled up. "Because I'm having a baby, and the kid is his, expecting. A pregnant woman alone in the desert is being hunted. There were other people in the same boat as her. There were a lot of women like this in the Wild West. But was it possible to save every woman? And me? Could I help her?" "Where are you going?" I asked. "California. I have an aunt who lives there. She said she would take me in. The state of California. A long way away. A journey that is impossible for a woman who is pregnant, alone, and broke. Will your aunt help you?" "Yes, I hope so, at least." Hope ... What a weak word. I said, "I'm going west, too. I don't know why I told such a big lie. Maybe I didn't want to be by myself. Can we go together?" Clara asked. "Please. I can't do it by myself, but with you, maybe I can do it." I stopped. This was a really bad idea. It was bad news to travel with a woman, especially a pregnant one. Trouble that is slow, dangerous, and hard to deal with. But I could hear Martha's voice. "You are a good person. I might not have been, but maybe I could try to be." "Okay," I said, "but I have rules. You do what I tell you to do. No questions. Got it?" "Got it," she said. She grinned. She smiled for the first time. And that smile moved me. We left the next morning. Clara was behind me on my horse. She put her arms around my waist. It was weird. No one had been this close to me in a long time. Clara said, "I still don't know your name. You don't have to. But how will I talk to you?" "You won't," she laughed. "You're really mean. You have to be tough to live." "Maybe, but just being mean isn't enough. You also have to be a person." Being a person, what did that mean? I hadn't tried to be human since I was 16. Just tried to stay alive. People who have been through things like this know that sometimes a stranger can mean more to you than your family, because that person you don't know accepts you for who you are. We traveled together for 3 days. Clara talked a lot. She said a lot of things. Her family, her childhood, her hopes. One day she said, "I'm going to name my child Emily. If it's a girl, Thomas if it's a boy. Will you give it the father's name?" Her face got darker. "No, that guy isn't a dad. He's a monster." "What will you say to the child?" "About the dad. The truth. That the father was a bad man. But my child can be good. Nice person." Those words again. I said, "Good people can't live in the Wild West." "Why?" "Because good people either die or turn bad." Clara turned around and looked at me. She said, "You're a good person." "I know, because you were there for me. People who are bad don't help pregnant women. Maybe I just didn't want to be by myself. Maybe. But you're still a nice person. You know that feeling of being stuck between who you are and who you want to be." And with Clara, I learned more about who I wanted to be every day. On the 4th day, everything changed. We were moving in the middle of the day. Clara was worn out. The pregnancy was making her move more slowly. "Let's take a break," she said, "No, we need to cover more ground. Please, for my kid." I stopped. Clara wasn't the only one anymore. There were 2 lives, and I was in charge of both. "Okay, 10 minutes." We stopped under a tree. Clara went to bed. I looked around, and then I saw them. On the hills in the distance, 3 people on horseback. I said softly, "Clara, is that them?" The woman looked. Her face turned white. "Yes, he came." Heart raced. Adrenaline flowed. "How many?" 3. My husband and 2 of his men. 3 people against 1. And a woman who is pregnant next to me. Bad chances. What would you do? Would you run? Or would you fight? Because running would mean leaving Clara to her fate. "Go," Clara said. "Run. I'll take care of them." "You can't handle them. He'll kill you." "Maybe, but I can't let him kill you either." I looked at her. A woman who is pregnant, tired, and scared. But she had determination in her eyes. I said, "No, you go. I'll keep them busy." "What? No. 3 against 1. Go, Clara," I yelled. "Now." The woman thought for a moment, then she got on my horse. "I'll always remember you," she said. Her eyes were full. "Just go." Clara made the horse go faster. She ran west toward California, and I stayed. Against 3 guys, with my guns, my bravery, and oddly enough, with peace. Because I was finally doing the right thing after a long time. The riders got closer. The person in front was big. He had scars on his face. His eyes were cruel. "Where's the lady?" He yelled. I said, "She's gone." "Who are you?" "Doesn't matter." The man got off. The other 2 also got off. All 3 of them came toward me. The man said, "She's my wife. This is my property, and you took her. She's not anyone's property. She is free." The man laughed. "Free? No one is free in these lands." I said, "Maybe." I reached for my gun. "But today she got her freedom. Did you give it to her?" The man smiled. "You're trash. A cowboy with no morals." "Maybe I am," I said, "but you're a monster, and you have to kill monsters. You realize that time slows down as death gets closer when you live through this moment. It feels like an hour every second." He was the first to draw, but I was quicker. The first bullet hit his heart. The man fell down. The second man pulled out his gun. I was quicker. The second bullet hit him in the chest. The third man The third man gave up, put his hands up. "Please let me go," he said. "Please." "Go," I said, "and don't come back. If I see you again, I'll kill you." The man got on his horse and rode away, ran without looking back. There were 2 bodies on the ground. Blood, more blood. But this time was different. I had spilled blood this time for the right reason. To help Clara, to keep her baby safe. I looked at my shoulder. A bullet had grazed it. It was bleeding, but that didn't matter. I fell to the ground. I was tired, but for some reason, I felt at peace. I looked up at the sky. The sun was going down. The sunset was lovely with red, orange, and purple colors. I whispered, "Daddy, I did the right thing today. I hope you're proud." The wind blew softly, like Dad was answering. I sat by the fire that night. I was by myself. But this time, the loneliness didn't feel as bad. Did Clara make it to California? I had no idea, but I hoped she had. I hoped her aunt would be okay with her. I hoped that her baby would be born healthy. And what would I do? I couldn't go back to William's gang. Clara and I couldn't go. So where? I didn't know what to say. But I did know one thing. I wasn't totally lost anymore. There was a light inside me. There was a light, but it was small and flickering. Samuel was right. Don't let the light go out. And I hadn't lost it. As the fire died down, I could hear horses far away. Someone was on their way. Who was it? My hand went right to my gun. My wounds hurt, but they didn't matter. More than anything, staying alive was important. The horse sounds got closer. Not just one horse, but two, perhaps three. I got up, moved to the back of the fire, waited in the dark. Then I saw them. Two shapes in the moonlight. One looked familiar. The voice I knew said, "Don't hide." "It's us. Hey, Jose." And next to him, Martha. I stopped moving. "What are you doing here?" Jose got off. "We were looking for you," he said. Martha rushed over to me. She looked at the cut on my shoulder. "You're hurt," she said with worry. "It doesn't matter. Just grazed. Every wound matters, son." She took some cloth out of her bag. I started to wrap up my wound. That warm, familiar touch. I had missed it. I wasn't the only one who was in this situation. Someone is looking for everyone who leaves. But is it possible to find everyone? And when they are found, do they go back? "Why did you come?" I asked. Jose put wood on the fire. He said, "What William did was wrong. We all know it. You were like a brother to us. And brothers don't leave each other." "But I went," Martha said. "No. You left to keep yourself safe. You left so that you wouldn't kill William. That takes guts, bravery." When I heard that word, it made my stomach turn. "I'm not brave. Just tired," Jose said. "Being tired doesn't mean you're not brave. Not fighting is sometimes the bravest thing to do." I took a seat. Martha had finished my cut. Jose was brewing coffee. This normal moment felt really good after that awful day, which is strange. "What did William say?" I asked. Martha let out a sigh. "Sorry, very sorry, but proud. He wanted you to come back, but he didn't beg." "Does he want me back?" Jose said. "We all do, but only if you want to, not by force." "Going back to the group? Even after that betrayal? Was it possible?" I told him I can't trust him. Once he sold me out. The second time he will kill me. Martha said, "No, because I'm watching this time. Samuel is watching. Everyone is looking. There are more men now than just William. The group has changed. You changed it. You know how hard it is to decide between forgiving and forgetting if you've been there. Is it weak to forgive or power?" "I need to think," I said. "Of course," Jose said. "But as you think, remember this. We're family, and families mess up. But families can also forgive." Martha and Jose stayed with me that night. We sat quietly by the fire and looked up at the stars. Martha had fed me. Jose was telling stories, and I felt like I was home. But where was home? William's group? Or another place? Martha gave me something when the sun came up. A little piece of paper. "What's this?" "Please," I said. "We met a woman on the road last night. A woman named Clara, having a baby. It looked like her horse." My heart raced. Clara, was she all right? She was okay. Tired, but determined. She sent me a message. "Tell him that he saved my life, and I'll never forget." I opened the newspaper. There was an address inside. Santa Barbara, California. The address of Clara's aunt. Martha said, "She said something else, too." Her door is always open if you want to find her. The door to her house is always open. What did that mean? A request to come? A wish? You might be stuck between two paths. One safe but full of memories. The other one is unsure but full of hope. Which one would you pick? Jose and Martha got ready to go back. Have you made up your mind? Jose asked. I didn't respond for a long time. There were two voices in my head. One said, go back. Your family is waiting. William did something wrong, but it's okay. You belong there. Don't go, said the other voice. Find Clara. Begin a fresh life. Leave the old, dirty business behind. Be a good man. What was right? I didn't know. I don't know yet, I said honestly. But I'll tell you something. Tell me, son, Martha said. You became like family to me. You became family to me years after my first family. And I appreciate that. I'll never forget you, no matter what I choose. Martha was crying. She hugged me and said, you're always our son. Always. Jose shook hands. May your roads be clear, brother, he said, and I hope you pick the right path. Which way is the right way? Why? I asked. Jose said, I don't know, but maybe the right path is the one that you follow your heart. Jose and Martha went away. I was by myself again, by the fire, hurt, tired, and unsure. I looked at the address for Clara, Santa Barbara, a long way away. A woman who is pregnant, a new life, and maybe a family. After that, I thought about William's group. Martha, Samuel, Jose, Sarah, Tommy. They were also my family. A family that isn't perfect, but still a family. I didn't know where I fit in anymore. Maybe not at all, or maybe all over. You know that sometimes the search for the answer is more important than the answer itself, if you've ever tried to figure out who you are. I ran my fingers over the scar on my chest, the pain over my heart, that little accident that happened years ago. Now it meant something else. That scar didn't mean pain. It meant strength. Proof that every fall can lead to a rise. I ran my finger over the scar on my eye, that deep cut from the fight. It also looked different now. Not a weakness anymore, but a story. Proof that I made it. I stroked my red beard. The legacy of Dad, Mama's eyes, Lily's laugh. They were all inside me. They were still alive. They were inside of me. I whispered, Daddy, what do I do? Should I go back to the past or look ahead? The wind blew softly. There was no answer. But maybe ... maybe I didn't need an answer. What might have mattered was asking the question. I got my horse ready when morning came, put my things together, looked at my cut. It was getting better. Should I go west, to California, to Clara, and to a new life? Or would I go back east, to the gang, my family, and my old life? I got on my horse. The sun was coming up. Red, orange, and gold made for a beautiful start. And I picked a path. I'm not going to tell you which way, because some choices are only up to the person who makes them. Only the traveler knows where they are going. There are a lot of things in life that are not certain. Sometimes the bravest thing is to accept that you don't know what's going to happen. I made my horse go faster. The horizon opened up in front of me, wide, mysterious, and never-ending. And me, a 21-year-old man with a red beard, green eyes, and scars on my face. I was heading toward that horizon. The past was getting farther away. The future was uncertain ahead. But now the moment was what mattered, and this moment was full of hope. I had lost my dad. I had lost my mother. I had lost Lily. I had lost 2 more families. But I was beginning to discover who I was, and maybe that was all it took. The wind strokes my hair. The sun feels good on my face. The horse walks with purpose under me, and I'm not alone anymore, because there is a light inside me. It's small and flickering, but it won't go out. Samuel was correct. Don't let the light inside you go out. I didn't lose it, and I won't lose it. I don't know where I'm headed, but I'm going. And that's enough.